What is Xhtml? Xhtml stands for Extensible Hypertext Markup Language. It is the best next step to evaluation of Internet. The Xhtml was developed by World Wide Web Consortium, or known as W3C, to help web developers to make the transition from HTML to XML. Using Xhtml, developers can enter the XML world with all the features of it, and they can still remain confident about the backward and future compatibility of the content. The Xhtml 1.0 is the first document type in the Xhtml family, and it is recommended by W3C in 26 January 2000. The Xhtml 1.1 is recommended by W3C in 31st May 2001. The Xhtml5 is a standard and is used to develop an XML adaptation of the HTML5 specification. The Xhtml documents contains three parts. First, doc type, which it is used to declare a DTD. Second, head. The head section is used to declare the title and other attributes. Third, body. The body tag contains the content of web pages. It consists many texts. Xhtml attributes. There are some Xhtml attributes which are standard and associated to all HTML tags. The Xhtml attributes can be divided in three types: core attributes, language attributes, Microsoft proprietary attributes. Core attributes. The core attribute is not valid in base, head, HTML, meta, param, script, style, and title elements. Here are some examples of core attributes. First, class. It specifies the class of the element. Second, ID. It specifies a unique ID for the element. Third, style, which it specifies an inline style definition. And last, title, which specifies a text to display in mouse tip. Language attributes. The language attribute specifies the content language. It employs ISO language abbreviations like FR for French, EN for English, and etc. Language attributes is invalid in base, BR, frame, frameset, HR, in iframe, param, and script elements. Two types of language attributes. First is dir, which is used to set the text direction, and second is lang. It is used to set the language code. Microsoft proprietary attributes. There are some proprietary attributes introduced by Microsoft with the Internet Explorer 4 and higher versions. For example, access key. It is used to set a keyboard shortcut to access an element. Second, language. These attributes provide the scripting language for the element script, usually through an event handler attribute. It could be JavaScript, GS scripts, VBS, or VBS script. HTML element. The HTML element consists of three parts: opening tag, closing tag, and content. Combining all these three parts results in an overall HTML element. Nested HTML elements. The HTML elements is used inside another HTML element is called nested HTML elements. For example, the HTML tag contains the head and body tags. Meanwhile, the head and body tags contains another element, so it is called nested element. Empty HTML elements. HTML elements without any content or that do not print anything are called empty elements. Empty HTML elements do not have an ending tag. For instance, BR, HR, link, input, and etc. are HTML elements. Cascading style sheets, fondly referred to as CSS, is a simply designed language intended to simplify the process of making web pages presentable. CSS allows you to apply styles to web pages. More importantly, CSS enables you to do this independent of the HTML that makes up each web pages. CSS selectors. A selector is simply the element to be styled. But as you write more CSS code, you will discover that selectors are not just elements. They could be attributes, pseudo-classes, IDS classes, and descendants. There are three types of CSS selectors. First, universal selector, element selectors, descendant selectors. Universal selector is denoted by the symbol of asterisk. It affects every single element on the document's tree. This changes the color of all HTML document elements to purple, be it a paragraph, an H1, H4, or a list. Asterisks are also used to target all values of a particular element. This is the most common selector, and it involves targeting numbers of a particular element when that element is defined. A descendant selector is a selector that is the child of another selector. CSS properties are the style used on specified selectors. They are written before values in the CSS rule set and are separated from property values by a colon. Different HTML selectors and elements have different properties. Some properties are universal and can be used on every selector. Others work only on specified selectors and under particular conditions. Here are 4 common properties to work with: list properties, front properties, border properties, and text properties. These properties are common because they are frequently used in all CSS documents and can be applied to different selectors. One unique thing about properties is that they have more than one value attached to them. Difference between the three types of CSS styles. Inline CSS is used to style a specific HTML element, and you can write inline CSS using the style attribute. It doesn't allow you to use any selectors, and it takes time to use as each element needs to add. Internal CSS is used to style a specific HTML page. You can write internal CSS using the style tag, and it allows you to use selectors, for example ID class, tag name, and etc. And it also a time-consuming, but in comparison to inline CSS is less. External CSS is used to change the look of an entire website by changing just one file. You can write external CSS in a CSS file.